Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video with CryptoNinjas. My name is Dale, and in this video we're looking into Resolv Labs. Resolv Labs will be listed on Binance Futures on June 10th, so a couple of days from now, as well as the Binance Alpha Airdrop. Very exciting news. So this video we're going to be looking at what Resolv Lab is, how it works in details with clear examples, and predicting the price of Resolv Labs after being listed on Binance. Let's go. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to CryptoNinjas for the best crypto contents and use all our referral links for 20% off of your trading fees for life. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. So first of all, what is Resolv Lab? Well, in their bio on X account, they said that they are a trustless stablecoin and low-risk crypto investments backed by the true delta neutral architecture. First of all, what is a delta neutral architecture? There are a bunch of videos on YouTube that explains what delta neutral is, but I'm going to try and do it and explain it in simple terms. All right. So if you think about staking token, okay, so let's say if you want to stake $1,000 in Ethereum into a DeFi protocol, all right, to earn yields. That's fair enough, like 3%, 4% yields. Let's say that the price of Ethereum in 1 year drops about 15%, all right? So you're losing 15% on your $1,000 and you're earning like 3-4% on top of that. So that's not really making money with DeFi, if you know what I mean. So how do we offset the price of Ethereum, all right? Leave that out of the equation and only leave in the 3-4% yields. Well, what if at the same time that we are staking Ethereum, we go short $1,000 in volume of Ethereum on exchanges? So when the price of Ethereum goes down, we're not losing anything because our short position would be profiting, and vice versa. If the price of Ethereum goes up, we're not earning anything either because our short position would be losing money. Essentially, there is no risk. We don't lose any amount of our Ethereum. The only things that we earn is number one, the staking yields of about 3-4% depending on the DeFi protocol, and second is the funding rate for going short on Ethereum. Now, there have been quite a lot of protocols that use the same delta neutral strategy and give out stable yields to the investors, namely Resolv Labs. Resolv Labs is the most well-known protocol that applied this strategy to give out like stable yields or income to the investors. So the question is, why do we need to use Resolv Labs? Why don't we just go to Resolv? Well, the thing is, Resolv Lab again is proud to say that they are backed by the true delta neutral architecture, and that is what we're here to find out. Within Resolv, there are two tokens, the USR, the delta neutral stablecoin, and the second one is RLP, the leverage delta neutral strategy token. So the USR is an asset was born from the idea of a stablecoin independent from real-world assets risk with yield powered by crypto money markets, and I want you to focus on the independent from risk, okay? And the second one is the RLP, which is an asset that represents the Resolv liquidity pool, managing surplus Ethereum collateral to protect USR stability. While USR ensures low-risk stability, RLP offers higher rewards by taking market risks crucial to the protocol strategy. What this essentially means is if you hold USR and you stake it within Resolv, then you earn yields without any risk because all of those risks are transferred to the RLP holders. This design is very different compared to Ethereum. On Ethereum, there is only one stablecoin, and that is USDE, okay? Now, if you want to stake USDE, you get SUSDE, right? And you get a certain amount of APY. However, the delta neutral strategy is not always, working out. There are always risks to any strategy, all right? And there are actually days where the APY of Ethereum went down to become negative. If you look at the protocol APY and SUSDE APY of Ethereum, and you can see right here on August 6th and August 5th, there were like -5% and -1%, August 7th, 2024, even -2%. So when there are days when the APY is negative, you as a staker of SUSDE actually lose money on your stake, right? So that's not ideal. I thought it's supposed to be a stable coin. yields. So why are we losing money on that, right? So that is what Resolv is trying to solve, okay? So that's why they have like two stablecoin system, all right? So USDR and RLP, okay? All of the risk is transferred from USDR to RLP. So if you stake USDR, you get STUSDR token, right? USR token, and there is no risk to that, right? You earn like what, 14%, 3%, 5%, 3% again, 4% again at the lowest, all right? You never earn negative or 0% yields. There is always yields to USR stakers. However, for RLP, look at that. If you click on all time, then you can actually lose money if you hold RLP. Look at that, right? So let's say in the month of July in 2024, right? Look at that, 1.037 for one RLP, but it went down a little bit to 1.036, and at this point, look at this, right? In the month of February, it went up to about 1.16 and it went down to about 1.15. So as you can see, if you hold RLP, the risks are to you. Why should we hold RLP? Because if you hold RLP, you actually get a bigger share of the yield. If you hold USR and you stake it, you earn like 35% around that, right, of the yields. But if you hold RLP, you actually earn about 65% because you take on higher risk. So high risk, high reward. So USR is for the people, let's say, who has a lot of money and who don't want to bear the risk, right? Then they can stake USR in, boring people. And for RLP is for a riskier people. So you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose it, okay? Unlike Ethereum, again, you don't have a choice, okay? If you stake USDE, then you have to accept that there are going to be profitable days and there are going to be days where you lose money. Let's take an example of how it works in detail so you better understand. So let's say that you are an investor and you want to put in, let's say $1,000 into Resolv. Okay, so here we go. You put in $1,000 into Resolv, and let's say that you are a safe investor, boring, and you just want to get stable income, right? So you would take USR token out, right? You don't want any risk. Okay, fair. And let's say that there is another investor who's a chat who wants the risk, high reward, right? Look at this guy. All right, all right, that's the man. So same thing, right? He wants to put in, let's say, $1,000 into Resolv. Boom, $1,000 into Resolv, and he wants to get RLP token pack because again, high risk, high return, right? So RLP. Here we go. Now, what happens after? Okay, so Resolv will do, their delta neutral strategy, right? So again, buy Bitcoin or Ethereum on open market, and at the same time go long, and at the same time go short, on perp dexes, to again offset the risk and only earn the funding rate fees as well as the stake APY. There are two scenarios that will happen from here on out. Okay, first one is that if the protocol, the delta neutral strategy, gives out positive yields, let's say of about 10%. Okay, so it gives out 10% on a good day. So how is this, being distributed to the USR stakers and the, RLP holders? So the USR stakers will get like 35%, and the RLP holders will get 65%, okay, of that 10%. Okay, so that's very good. Your $1,000 will become like $1,035 if I'm not mistaken, and my $1,000 in USC will become $1,065 on a good day, 10% yield. However, things are not always like that. Okay, what if, right? What if the protocol and the strategy gives out negative yields? What happens then? Well, let's say that on a bad day, it gives out negative 3% yields. Okay, because the delta neutral strategy is not working out, the funding rate is low, the APY is even lower, you have to pay the long, whatever, right? So what happens now? Okay, what happens is Resolv will still give, like will still give the USR stakers a minimum of a few percent, let's say like 2% yields. Okay, so you still can get like $20, on a good day. So where is this yield from? I thought it's negative. Well, this yield is actually, being taken out from the RLP rewards. So the RLP rewards are basically zero now. Okay, they are taking a loss even. Okay, to cover for the yield from the STUSR people. So yeah, so my $1,000 would become even less. So let's say like $980, right, to cover for $20 that the protocol pays for the STUSR. So yeah, high risk, high reward. So I would recommend, if you just want like stable yields throughout, then select USR and stick it in, right? But if you are a little bit of a risk taker, RLP is for you. At this point in time, right, the RLP and the USR all looking really good. I mean, the all-time staking APR of USR stakers is about 8, close to 9%. For RLP, it's like 17.4%, close to 18%. So it's relatively profitable, and that's basically how Resolv work. If there's anything that I said that might be wrong or not correct, correct me down in the comments and like the video. Next, let's talk about the protocol's governance token, which will be launched again on the Binance Alpha Airdrop, as well as the listing on the Binance futures and several other exchanges, the Resolv token. So it's another token. Okay, it's the third token. Why do we need this one? Well, the utility for this token is a little bit ambiguous. Honestly, it's a utility token, includes long-term alignment and governance mechanism. So that's basically it. All right, you can also stake it for boosted points in their airdrop programs. And yeah, that's basically it. You can also get like an APR, like a yield, I guess, for staking this token, but it's pretty standard. Not much to say about it. And now comes the interesting part. What do you think about the price prediction of the Resolv token? The FTV of Resolv could reach $1 billion, right? 2 to 3 times higher, right? So $1 billion in FTV. However, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's very difficult in this market to be like that. And if you look at the funding as well, right? They raised like $10 million only. Coinbase is top tier, good, but we don't have Binance Labs or whatever. They're not on the Binance launch pool. So $1 billion might seem a little bit difficult, So my price prediction for Resolv would be on a bullish side. I think like $900 million. Okay, so about 80 cents to 90 cents per token. On a middle case, which I am more leaning towards, it's finna be at 600 million, $600 to $700 million in FTV. So that puts the price of a Resolv token to be about 60 to 70 cents. And on a bearish case, I don't think it's gonna happen though. Is $400 million to $500 million. So like 40 to 50 cents. Okay. So with that said, how much money can you make out of the Binance Alpha Airdrop of Resolv? I think it will give you around, $80 to $90. Now, if you want to be eligible for the Alpha Airdrop of Binance, I think that you should always keep your Alpha points at around more than 200 points, like 210, 220 points are required, okay? Because it feels like Binance is just keep on increasing and increasing the minimum points threshold. So it's getting more and more difficult to be claiming these Alpha points. So yeah, just again, keep in mind that you need to have like a minimum of 200 points to participate. And that's it for this video about Resolv. Just a quick one to show you what Resolv is, what they do, and how are they different compared to Ethena, and why they are called the true delta neutral strategy or architecture. Look at Ethena, there's no option at all. You go with USD, E, then you have to take all the risk. But with Resolv, they sort of like separate the risk into two different parts. So the USR part, the stablecoin part, there's honestly no risk, right? You always get like a yield, even though it's like 3-4%, you always get your yields, right? Always in the positive, because all of the risk is transferred to another token, the RLP token, right? But the RLP token holders will get more rewards. So you know what I mean? Like, it's suitable for different audience. For the ones that only want the yield, go with USR. For those who are a little bit younger, a little bit more risky, then yeah, go with RLP because you can earn like 17-18% APY, right? For Ethereum, really, you only have one option. So yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe to CryptoNinjas and use all our referral links for 20% off of your trading fees for life. And comment down below what you think about the price of Resolv is going to be after listed on Binance. Thank you very much for watching. Daily out.